Hello, students of Matthew 5. My name is Teacher Robert. Nice to meet you. I am from the United States of America. I hope you are all staying home and safe with the new coronavirus outbreak here in Thailand. I am anxious to meet all of you when school does finally reopen. This is my humble abode. Abode is another word for home. This is my home. The lighting is better outside. My house is very small, so I decided to take an outside video today. Today's class, we will be mainly working on two of the aspects of learning a new language, listening and speaking. And they kind of go together. The other two are reading and writing, and they kind of go together. So today is listening and speaking, and we will do our best to cover both of those thoroughly. The first thing I would like to talk to you about today is occupations, guessing jobs, guessing occupations. I think how we will start with this is let's look at our alphabet. Okay, A. What occupation starts with A? Can you think of an occupation that starts with A? I can think of several. Astronaut. Astronaut. What is an astronaut? An astronaut is a type of pilot, but more than planes. He goes into outer space maybe, works on the space station, flies in outer space, wears a space suit, flies in rockets or planes. That's an astronaut. What is another one? How about architect? Do you know what an architect is? An architect draws plans to build buildings. An architect may draw plans to build a house. He may draw a plan, or she may draw plans to build a big building, like a condo or a central plaza. You have many beautiful types of architecture here in Thailand. So architect. What is another one? A. How about airline pilot? An airline pilot flies airplanes. My father is a pilot, not an airline pilot. He flies smaller planes. So airline pilot or airplane pilot. Many professions that start with A. Aeronautical engineer, an engineer who builds rockets and planes. Aeronautical engineer. Okay, let's try B. What can we think of for occupation that starts with B? Well, how about bookkeeper or bookseller? Bookkeeper, bookseller, very prominent, very important bookseller where I come from in America is called Barnes and Noble. Just two names, two people got together and opened a book selling business, and it is probably the largest bookseller in America today, Barnes and Noble. So, bookseller. Another occupation would be banker, right? Banker, someone who runs the bank. And that is an occupation. Bus driver. Bus driver? You want to be a bus driver? That's an occupation. Okay. Can you think of anything else that starts with B? An occupation, a job. Okay, let's go to C. Can you think of an occupation that starts with C? Well, let's see. Carpenter, someone who works with wood, builds buildings or anything having to do with wood is a carpenter. My great-grandfather was a carpenter who worked on the Titanic. He was a carpenter, so he made it all beautiful inside, the woodwork, and it was very beautiful. It sank on its first voyage, as you probably know. But so carpenter. How about another one? Custodian. Custodian. A custodian is a person who keeps your building, your office, your school clean. He cleans and washes the windows. That's a custodian. Okay, we don't have a lot of time, so let's move on to D. What occupation starts with D? Well, the first one I think of is doctor, right? Doctor. So a doctor takes care of you when you are sick. A general doctor is called a general practitioner, and they are just a doctor for anything, for general health. Nowadays, most doctors specialize in something. Like you are a heart doctor, or a brain doctor, or a skin doctor, or a bone doctor, or different specialties. But doctor is an occupation. Is there anything else that starts with D? Well, dog catcher. In America, we have dog catchers that drive around, and any stray dogs, they pick them up and take them to a shelter. I don't know if you have those in Thailand or not. I know you have a lot of dogs here. Okay. D, driver, any kind of driver. Let's go to E. What occupation starts with E? Can you think of one? Engineer, right? Engineer is someone who designs something to build, draws up plans. You can have an architectural engineer who is like an architect but with an engineering twist on things. You have electrical engineers like me. You have mechanical engineers, aeronautical engineers, civil engineers. Civil engineers build bridges and roads and things like that for cities. Metallurgical engineers. My cousin is a metallurgical engineer. He works with metal. He builds turbine motors for jet engines for aircraft. He works for General Motors in Indianapolis, Indiana. So he gets all his General Motors cars for manufacturer's price. He's a metallurgical engineer. Okay, different types of occupations. when you think about the occupation that you hope to have one day, you may think about money. I believe the best thing you should think about is what you enjoy doing, what makes you happy. Because if you pick something that makes you happy, you will eventually become a master, become the best that there is, and then you can name your own price because you will be the best in the field. So pursue what makes you happy for your occupation. Going through the alphabet, where are we at? E, F, what would be F? A firefighter? A firefighter is someone who obviously knows about putting out fires. He also knows about safety, about helping people. He knows CPR. He knows fire safety. He knows about chemical safety, electrical safety. Firemen are trained in a lot of areas of safety. So firemen are for safety. G, what starts with G? Well, I can think of one, a type of doctor. Okay, gardener. Could be a professional gardener, taking care of a garden around a big house somewhere. You may want to be a mechanic or who repairs automobiles, motorcycles, airplanes. There are airplane mechanics. There are marine mechanics, boats. Marine means water. Boats. I, J, K. Now, if you are a masonry worker, masonry means cement, bricklayer. You build things out of cement. Maybe cement blocks. You can build houses, buildings, bridges, roads, all kinds of things in the construction industry. Use masonry workers, cement workers, bricklayers. Okay, let's say you want to travel a lot. What occupation would you use if you want to travel a lot? Well, again, maybe a driver of a bus or a tour bus or a messenger van or long distance drivers like a truck driver who in Thailand you learn British English mostly, and they are called a lorry. Lorry is a big truck. In America we don't call them lorries, we call them trucks or semi-trucks, big trucks that haul material to a construction site. They might haul wood, they might haul dirt, they might haul cement, they might haul equipment. They could haul pieces of airplanes. In America, where Boeing jets are made, the 747 wings are so long it takes 2 semi-trailers to haul them, and one man drives the truck and one man sits underneath the 2 trailers and steers the back trailer. That's how long these wings are for the 747 airplane. So you could be a driver, a pilot, a captain. A pilot you think of as an airplane, and a captain you think of as a boat, drives a boat, the captain. pilot flies an airplane. So if you enjoy traveling, you might like something like that. Today's modern fast-paced world, no matter what occupation you go in, you will probably be given the opportunity, the chance to travel a lot, to go to other places, maybe even other countries. So language is very important. I have friends who work in robotics and they travel to Japan and other places, and you have Japanese scientists and German scientists and Russian scientists and American scientists all working together. How do they communicate? They all have their own language. So how do they communicate? English. Yes, English. English is the language unit of globalization. So it is important for you to learn English, no matter what occupation you go into. What are some more occupations? Teacher. You could be a teacher if you want. Again, today's fast-paced world, teachers usually specialize in something. You have a math teacher, a physics teacher, a language teacher, a social studies teacher, a physical education teacher, many kinds of teachers that you can be. If you want to change things, engineering is a good way to go. Chemical engineering, working with the food industry, we use many chemicals today. I like natural foods, that's why I like Thailand. You don't use a lot of chemicals. In America they use a lot of chemicals, and I don't, I think natural is better than chemicals. Many people agree with me, some don't. Maybe you think chemicals are better. If you go into chemistry and learn about things like that, you will know more than I do about that. Now, no matter what occupation you pick, don't I have my time on here? Oh, yeah, okay. Okay, yeah, we're running out of time. No matter what occupation you pick, there are times where you may be looking for a job. So when you go to your job interview, the first thing is you want to be dressed smartly. That is a British English term, smartly. In America, you will not hear smartly dressed. You will hear nicely dressed. Same thing, dressed smartly, dressed nicely. I mean, wear nice clothes. You want to look nice when you show up for your job interview, because first impressions are very important. First impressions are the first time someone sees you. Right now is your first impression of Teacher Robert. So I am trying to make it a good one. It is important. Other than that, depending on what type of interview you are going to, you need to be prepared to talk about your area of expertise. Are you an architect? You will need to know about, excuse me, my iPad's falling over there. Okay, if you're an engineer, you will need to know a lot of things about engineering, mostly mathematics, chemistry, things like that. If you want to be a bookseller, you're going to need to be knowledgeable about books. So knowledgeable means knowing about your subject matter, the type of occupation you are interviewing for. They will always have you fill out an application. Even with modern technology, you still have to fill out applications sometimes. Many times you may do it online. Expressing regrets. Regrets are things that you feel a regret about. You feel sorry about something. You feel like you lost something. So if you go to an interview and the interviewer says, okay, well, we'll get back to you in a few days. We'll get back to you. Or maybe they will say, okay, well, we don't think you are the right person for this job. So, to express your regrets, you would politely say, oh, I'm so sorry. I really wanted to work for you. You always want to be polite about regrets. Say, oh, I'm sorry, I wish that I would have had the chance. I think I could have been good. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, that's disappointing. Oh, I'm disappointed. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, expressing regrets. Now, in talking about occupations, I mentioned do what you like because you will become the best at it. That is what an ambition is. An ambition is something you want to do. Ever since I first saw Thailand in 2007, it was my ambition to move to Thailand after working in America for 30 years. So my ambition, my goal, my drive was to live in Thailand. And it took me about, it took me quite a while to finally get here. I've been here 9 times. I've been here now for 3.5 years. Come here now. And so your ambition is what motivates you, what you want out of life, out of life satisfaction in your life. So pick what you like to do. Pick what you like to do. If you like to be outside a lot, maybe you want to go into horticulture. Horticulture is growing plants, crops, rice, coconut trees, mangoes. Horticulture, the study of plants. And you have a lot of plants in Thailand. Where I come from, it's very cold and not much grows most of the year. I lost my paper, excuse me. Okay. Now, no matter what you go into, no matter what occupation, no matter what area of study, field of study you go into, you will have to work with other people in the same line of work as you. These people will not always agree with you. This person wants to do it this way. This person wants to do it this way. You want to do it this way. That is your opinion. In your professional opinion of what is best for whatever you are trying to accomplish. Whether it is designing new technology, whether it is building new structures, whether it is teaching people, whatever it is, you will have your own opinion of the best way to do that. And other people will have their own opinion of the best way to do that. So you will have times when you agree with other people, or when they agree with you, or when you all agree. You will also have times where people disagree with you, or you disagree with them, or everyone is in disagreement. So you need to express your opinion, whether you agree or disagree, and you will need to express your reasons why you feel that way. You will say things like, I disagree with you on this because this is the facts. These are the facts that I know about this, and you, okay, I disagree because, I agree because. You need to have knowledge, facts about whatever you are agreeing with or disagreeing with, and you will all work together to understand it together, and that will make the best of whatever you are doing. If you all get to, if you're building a new condominium, and the support, the material, the metal, the cement, the concrete, the windows, the glass, if you have 10 people working on this condo together, there will be times when you agree and times when you don't agree, and that is good because everyone will listen to your opinion and will question it. Oh, is he correct or is he incorrect? And you all work together, and that is how we come up with the wonderful things we have today, the wonderful buildings you have in Bangkok, the wonderful methods of transportation, modes of transportation we have. Modes would be a better choice of words. Language, all about conveying your thoughts into words so that people will understand you and you can come to the optimum decision of how to do things. And that is how we progress technologically, culturally, all areas of life. That is how we progress. So agreeing and disagreeing with opinions and talking about ambitions. Another part of going to an interview is your ambitions. The interviewer may ask you, why do you want this job? So you will need to express your ambition. I want this job because I can see how to make things better for everyone, and I want to change things. I want this job because I love working with motorcycles, and I am going to build the best motorcycle in the world, things like that. Henry Ford, the first automobile in America. That's what he did. He wanted to make a car. Toyota, the Toyota manufacturer, I can't remember his name. I studied about him in school. Remarkable man. Followed some of Henry Ford's ideas. So great minds come up with ideas that last forever. And you can come up with them too. No matter what occupation, what area of life you go into, you can change things and make things better for everyone. But to do that, you are going to need to know how to express yourself in English, in the English language, because it is the language unit of globalization today. No matter what you go into. I worked for a very large meat producer in America as an engineer, but some of our biggest contracts were with China. One of our biggest contracts was sending pork loins to China. Another one of our biggest contracts was the honey baked ham, which is a very expensive ham. So you've probably heard of it, honey baked. They were our biggest customer. They bought all of their hams from us. Elkhart smokehouses are one of the, we had many different kinds of smokehouses, but our largest area, the area I was in charge of, was all Elkhart smokehouses. Elkhart is the name of a company that makes smokehouses. And you have one here in Thailand. I don't know where it is, but I remember talking to the man who was sent over here to repair the smokehouse. So he had to come to Thailand, and he did not know Thai, but he knew his business. He knew the smokehouse, and he knew enough about how to language to express himself and to help the owner and his employees to understand the smokehouse. So no matter what area of work you go into, you are going to need to, number one, be smartly dressed, be professionally prepared. Number two, know your subject material. Number three, understand and be able to express your ambition, your drive. Why do you want this job? You're going to need to explain that to your potential employer. And number four, be very thorough in your interview. Explain your thoughts, your feelings, why you want this area of expertise for your occupation, and maybe your long-term goals as well. These will all help you in your interview. Okay, so let's recap what we talked about today. We have talked about several occupations.
6 minutes.
And only a few occupations. We didn't talk about lawyer. What is a lawyer? A lawyer is someone whose whole job really is to use language, use words. Lawyers use words to make people feel one way or another. A lawyer is kind of a storyteller. A Lawyer picks words and phrases and makes the jury or to decide if someone is guilty or not guilty. A good lawyer is very good with words. I could tell you some stories about different legal cases where a lawyer is a very important person who uses language. Okay, what are some other occupations we maybe didn't talk about? Biology. A biologist studies living things. All doctors take a lot of biology courses in school. They learn about different organs of the human body or animal bodies. Veterinarians are doctors for animals. So biologist. A marine biologist, remember I said marine means water, right? So a marine biologist studies what? Marine animals, water animals, fish. There's so many animals in our oceans. Remember, the ocean is covers 75% of the earth. So we have much more water than we do land. So there are probably, I know there are a lot of animals that we are discovering every day with modern technology. You students today are very lucky that way to have all this technology at your fingertips. So if you use it wisely, you can learn a lot faster than I could when I was young. When I was young, we did not have smartphones. When I wanted information, I had to go to drawers called card catalogs that had a bunch of cards in them, and I would have to look up the book I was looking for or the area of information that I wanted, and I would have to get the book number, and then I would have to walk around and find the book. And today you can just bloop, bloop, there it is, So you are very lucky. So use it to your advantage. Use it to your advantage. You have a whole library right there on your iPhone or your Samsung or whatever you have. You have a whole world of information there. So use it to your advantage, because once you get out into the working world, you will have the rest of your life to work with that. So it's very important what you do today to prepare you for tomorrow and the rest of your life. Thank you very much. It has been a wonderful pleasure teaching you today. I hope you picked up some useful information about occupations, agreeing and disagreeing, going to an interview, and thinking about what you want to spend the rest of your life doing. A very important decision. So take your time, go slow, learn a lot, and I hope that I am able to be your instructor. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.